Hello, everyone. Welcome to the marketplace with Uche today. Thank you guys for showing up. You guys have been awesome showing up on Instagram, Facebook, Zoom, and YouTube. Thank you guys. Thank you all. It's such an honor that I don't take lightly to have you guys show up every single week. And that is the motivating factor for me to be able to come out every week, come rain, come shine. I'm here to be able to teach something on leadership, on business, on career, on personal finance, and also on relationships. So I just want to thank you guys for showing up always. It is an honor and a privilege to have you guys come up here every Monday and Wednesday. It's the reason why we do what we do, because you guys are always showing up, and it gives me the opportunity to also come and share with you guys. So today we are talking about how to become an indispensable leader. You know, the thing is, leaders are born, leaders are made. Leaders are born, and if we wait if we wait if we wait for the leaders that are born to come into power, into place, it will take so long. It will destabilize. The whole setting will be destabilized in terms of we're waiting. Or rather, let me put it this way: there are too few for us to wait. There are too few, and thank you for the people that have tried, researched, and tested it over the years. I found out that leadership can be born, it can be made. So leaders can be made. Once there's willingness, there's nothing that will stop you. Once there's willingness for you to be able to get what you want, or become whatever you want. So indeed, you can become an indispensable leader. And to this evening, I'm going to show you how that can be possible. Okay, so let me just give you an overview right now. Indispensable leaders are people that make employees better. They have the capacity to make employees better people and better employees. They can drive revenue, and they can maintain a sense of optimism around the office. There are people that are just gifted. They are encouragers. When you see them, you are motivated to go on. There are some leaders, when they show up, everybody is motivated to move on. And even when things are not okay, because you see them, once they show up, it's like, okay, fine, we can get through it. It's possible that we can get through it. You can also become that, and that's one of the things that you will learn here today. Indispensable leaders understand that each day of leading is a challenge. So they must embrace the hurdle they encounter rather than circumvent those obstacles. You see, I always say it here that obstacles are like hurdles that God has put in the way of every man and every woman. The more you're able to scale that hurdle, the more you scale that hurdle, that challenge, that Goliath, as they say, that mountain, as they say, you go higher. So without this scaling of this hurdle, you will not be able to get anywhere. Rather than try to circumvent the obstacles, go around it. Circumvent is just to go around it, just ignore it and say, look, it's not my own tenure that things will come and be bad. This company has been this way. I'm not the one to make the change. So let things just continue to be the way. Let me just enjoy my tenure and let me go. There are leaders like that. There are leaders like that. They are just they just, any obstacle they see, they look at it and they just sweep it under the carpet, as long as it's not going to wreck the company immediately. But in the long run, they don't mind. They might not be there. But you need to understand, for indispensable leaders are leaders that embrace this hurdle. They have this encounter. They know that this hurdle that they face, these challenges, actually is preparing them for the next level. Indispensable leaders are individuals who accept full responsibility for the performance of their people. They embrace the fact that the buck stops at their table. They are not afraid to take responsibility. They are not afraid at all. They are not afraid. They accept responsibilities, and they realize that, look, making mistake along the way doesn't mean that you're a failure. But failure is an event. It's not a person. It's not your life. It doesn't qualify you as a person. Okay, so most importantly, indispensable leaders leverage on influence, knowledge, and experience, their own influence, knowledge, and experience, in order to make the company or organization they work to win and succeed in whatever they want to do. They share an unwillingness to accept defeat. So as a result, they figure out what must be done in order to achieve results. Indispensable leaders, they don't, you see, the thing with failure is part of our existence. It's part of life. When you accept it, that thing becomes your reality. When you say no to it, that thing cannot become your reality. I had a skin tag recently on my face because I've had an issue of skin tag. I used to have a skin tag on my forehead, and so I had to surgically remove it. But I said, I'm not going to do that again. So I saw there was this pimple here. The place is even still dark. And then I saw that it was developing into a skin tag. No, every morning I get up, anytime I'm in the bathroom, I'm touching that place and I'm cursing it and I'm commanding it for it to be able to dry up for its root. Anything that comes to my mind, I just say it. Today I give that testimony that I can't even feel it. It's gone. Yeah, there's a trace of black dusting, but I know in a short while it will be completely gone. I could have just accepted. I could have just accepted that this will go this way. We have the power. We have great power. I remember my first son. This one is, I just say it, it's not the problem for those of you that might have that condition. I don't mean to be, derogatory or say anything that is you might not like, but it's a life experience, my own experience that I'm bringing I'm bringing out here this evening. I realized that my first son, as he started growing and started walking, then he started developing what we call K-leg in Nigeria. I still don't know someone has told me the medical terms for it, but I still can't remember, and I looked at it and I said, this is the beginning of my strength. And I don't want it to be like, I don't want this, because this is my beginning. I need those legs to be straight because I don't have. In my family, nobody has. In my wife's family, nobody has. So where is it coming from? So what I did, I got anointing oil. I prayed over it every morning. I'll massage that leg, that knee, and I make declarations and I command it to be straight. The boy is 17 now, and his legs are straight. So you see that there's a willingness, the willingness to accept indispensable leaders. Now you see that I've become an indispensable leader in the house. Because at that particular time, my mom was around. And when I complain to my wife, she doesn't say it. She can't say it. Most mothers don't see those kind of things. I complained to my own mother. She said, if I don't want the child, I should give her, let her carry and go. So the thing is that they are not seeing, they're not understanding what I am saying and from the point that of which I'm coming through. But the thing is that I did not accept defeat. I didn't want it. And it was based on that thought that this also came. I said, I'm not doing anything. You see, when you accept something, the universe will give it to you. When you reject something, all the elements of creation will help you to fight that thing from coming back. And as long as that, those doubts will always come into your mind. And if you accept those doubts, before you know it, you start flowing according to that. Indispensable leaders are people that are not particularly too different from the average person, but they have this tenacity to say, no, I want to be invaluable. I want to be indispensable in my company, in my organization, in my home, as a wife, as a husband, in my church, or anywhere that you belong. So indispensable leaders are the people that have, let me just give you some key points that can start you on the journey to becoming an indispensable leader. The first one is you need to understand the importance of becoming indispensable. How do I mean by that? The importance of becoming indispensable. See, personal success without leadership brings only limited effectiveness. Personal success without leadership brings only limited effectiveness. What do I mean by that? Without leadership ability, a person's impact is only a fraction of what could have been with strong management ability. So it means that you can achieve more. You can achieve more if you have leadership ability than if you do not have the leadership ability. See, you can leverage on all that you have if you understand how to be able to play this game, and you can leverage on people and their strength and their gifts to be able to even do more. Indispensable leaders are leaders that are able to influence. What is leadership? One word, leadership is influence. The ability to influence people to do things, especially the things that they will not normally want to do. But they do it because of you, because there's something about you that motivates them. There's something about you that brings out the best in them. And you can learn these things. And that's what I'm teaching here today. You can actually learn that. You see, when an average leader departs from an organization, it's really annoying. It's an annoying vacuum in that organization, but it does not generally hinder the big picture. The thing with average and mediocre leadership is that it does not hinder in any way at all. It does not hinder the big picture. What it does is that why it's annoying is because now you're putting HR under pressure to get people to replace you. When you're an average leader, when you leave, they don't usually employ people from outside. They just get people, maybe 2 or 3 people within to do your job. Most indispensable leaders, when they leave, they have to get somebody like that from outside most of the time. But if you're an average leader, people can do what you do. The more difficult you're able to replace, the easier it is for you to negotiate your raise. The easier it is for you to start entrepreneurial ventures within the company, to gain respect from both your subordinates, your bosses, and your clients. The more difficult you are to replace. If it's easy to replace you, wow, then it means that that you were never valuable to the system. My father, my earthly father, used to say, and he used to say that if you go on leave and people don't notice, then you were never valuable in the first place. If you go on leave and they don't recall you back before your leave is over, then you were never really that valuable to the system. And he says that he never completed any leave. They have to call him back. And even when he retired, after putting in 65 or 35 years, whichever came at first, he was still given 2 or 3 or maybe 4 years extra to continue before he left. So it shows that there is a value. You must make sure, and when I was working, when I started working and everybody was excited, oh, I'm going to work, I'm going to this. He didn't really sound excited. And what he told me was an advice. He said, see, in fact, my sisters, some of them were bothered about the dress. I would dress to go to work. People were doing praise and worship, all those things. But he said one thing. He said, let me tell you something that will make you excel in life. You see, carve out a niche for yourself. Be so good in it that anytime they come there, if you are not there, they will look for you. That was his advice to me. And anything I do it so well that if I'm not around, you will feel my absence. And that was the advice he gave. And now thinking back, it is the path that set me into becoming an indispensable leader. An indispensable leader is somebody that they will think twice before asking you to go. Before asking you to go, the company needs to prepare themselves. They need to prepare themselves before they ask you to go. Or when you want to go, they will tell you indispensable leaders are people that want to leave in December, but they tell the company in January that in December, I'm leaving. So the company has 12 months to get ready for their departure. There are people like that, and you can work yourself into becoming that. You know, I'm going to give you 4 questions for qualifying how indispensable you are. But take a listen prior to requesting for a promotion. You know, some people feel that because they have been in an organization for 10 years, 5 years, 2 years, as the case may be, it means that they are due for a promotion or a raise. It doesn't work that way. Everything works in the corporate world based on value. Everything you are paid based on the value that you bring. So you have to gauge how critical you are to the company's success. At every particular point in time, you need to find out how successful that you are, or not how successful, how valuable you are to the system. For measurement purpose, there has to be a few questions that you're going to ask yourself. You know, and be honest, don't lie. I'm going to give you 4 questions that you need to ask yourself, you know, and don't lie about it. Just answer it. It's you that is answering. Nobody is going to mark it for you. But you need to ask yourself these 4 questions. Are employees or clients likely to leave if you depart? I've known people when they left their company to go and start another company or their own company, people moved from that company to theirs. There was this hospital that we used to go, my family and I, we used to go. There's a particular doctor that everybody comes and they line up to see him because of the nature in which he handles his job. When he was leaving, he had to submit his personal phone, his line to the organization because he didn't want people to leave the organization and follow him. So that was the agreement that he had. So when you call that number, somebody would die, oh, this doctor is not here, but we can take care of you, so that nobody can have access to him and know where he was going to. If your employees, if employees are going to feel empty, discouraged, disgruntled at your leaving, then that shows you how valuable you are. How much disorganization could result if you left the company? How do you even arrive at this? When you go on leave, what happens when you come back? Is there strife and bickering and in-house fighting just because you're not around? Most of the time, when somebody that is valuable leaves, somebody else might want to take that position, and every other person will want to resist them. Who are you? You are not this person. How much disorganization do you think that can ensue if you leave that organization? How much will morale suffer? Would there be low morale if you leave in terms of clients? There's some clients that when you're not in the company, they call and they say you're no longer there. They will drop that phone and they will never come to that company because of the personal relationship you have built with them over time. How long will it take your organization to replace you? These are questions you need to ask. If you leave and the organization doesn't even get somebody else, they just get people in-house to be doing your job, it shows that you were never valuable to the system. If you're valuable to the system and you say you want to leave, they will call you and say, wait for such a time as this, wait for such a time as this, let us be able to recoup. If you can answer these 4 questions based on your experience in that organization, then you know that you are on your way to becoming an indispensable leader, or you need to work on yourself so that you can become an indispensable leader. Okay, I will give you 5 steps to becoming an indispensable leader at your organization today. This is the reason why we're here. I'll give you 5 steps. The first step you need to take by rebranding yourself to become an indispensable leader is to create a unified vision among your subordinates. A team doesn't win the championship if their players are working from conflicting agenda. There has to be clarity, the big picture. This is the big picture. This is what we need to achieve. This is what we need to achieve, and it must be clear. I also remember when I was working, there's a guy we were employed the same day. But we were sent to 2 different divisions. No, 2 different departments in the same division. So I think that he kind of, when he started work there, he kind of like, wow, is this what I'm going to be doing? He felt that it's not something that he felt that he should be doing right now. He felt low. He felt that this was beneath him. So the regional manager called him and told him, he told him and he said, this is what we do here. You need to realize that This is what we do here. Do you know that, do you know that, um, do you know that we make close to 500 million to 650 million every per annum when in this unit that you're looking now. The guy said, wow. I said, yes. He said, yes, we make a lot, of money. And from that day, he started respecting him because he looked down. And he said, look, this is what we do here. You need to accept it for what it is, that this is what we do. Getting everyone on the same page will allow you to become a key part of the company, as the organization risks losing clients, employees, and morale if you leave. Try to get everybody on the same page. Let them see the big picture. Let them see what they are here to accomplish. Let them see it, and let them see their own future. Let them be able to interpret, let them be able to see their own future and their own benefits in that vision that you're showing them. Most of the time, people are not giving in 100% because they are not seeing themselves in that organization. There's no unified vision. Sometimes it's the vision of the leader and it's not well interpreted. So we must start by having to create a unified vision among your subordinates. Hey guys, this is what we do here. This is what we want to achieve here. You must sing it. You must sound like a broken record every day, until when your people tell you you are sounding like a broken record, that is exactly when they are started listening to you. So you must keep sharing the vision. Many organizations, when they come for their weekly meetings, they start with the company vision. In fact, after the prayer, they all recite the company vision and mission and objectives and core values before they sit down and they start the meeting. Why do companies do that? So that the big picture does not leave you. So that the big picture does not leave you. And once you can get your people to see it and see themselves in that big picture and see their benefits in that big picture, believe me, you're on the path of becoming an indispensable leader that they will follow to wherever they need to go. The second step is develop a good relationship with those that are under you. People make mistake and feel that it's only their bosses that they have to suck up to. It's only their bosses that they have to do things for. Their bosses, they have to show their skills. They don't bother to have a relationship with people under. People in your team. Don't say, look, I'm the manager, you must follow me. No. People want to go along with those whom they get along with. If people cannot get along with you, it's difficult for them to truly follow you. You must be able to handle and carry everyone. Because if people cannot get along with you, it is difficult, especially people under you. And you need to build trust and being honest and authentic. For you to build trust, be honest and authentic. Some people, I see some people, some leaders, some managers, some CEOs, they carry themselves, they have this air about them that they know everything. They're superior in all things, and you see that when such people, when they struggle big time. They struggle big time because they've made themselves like larger than life kind of people. And so when issues come up and Nobody is going to come to your aid because you've already presented yourself like a larger than life kind of person. You know, build trust by being honest and authentic. This is who I am. Once you can relate with people and connect with people, especially people below you, because those are the people that will get the job done. Once you can connect with those people, you're on your path to becoming an indispensable leader. Okay, the third one is to become cognizant with market changes, market dynamics. Strong leaders have special capacity to anticipate radical changes in the environment, in the markets, unexpected radical changes in the market. You see, that is what is going to make you stand out. A leader that can forecast over time, that can discern things. Everybody wants to follow a leader that is taking them somewhere. Everybody wants to follow a leader that they are confident that this man knows what he's doing. So you need to start to become cognizant of the moves made by your competitors and be aware of new entrants and threats in the organization. In the industry. What are the threats? Okay, worry. I'll come to you. Said, what about when the people under you is a woman and very insubordinated? Okay, I will talk about. You see, the thing is, not everybody will flow with your leadership style. Not everybody will agree with you, but you need to select your team. Even if you come to a company, you know, even if I've worked with women, in fact, I've worked with women that are key to the organization, like here in Marketplace Apostle. I've worked with women. Women have been, until now, the key people in leadership roles here. So it's about one person. It's not about this is how women are. You know, some people are like that. But for me, I've had to have people that are rude, untrained, and all that. There are procedures in which you can use to handle them. You know, find out what the problem is. You start by talking. Insubordination. You try to talk about what is happening, the job, what is their cause of their problem. You know, and if it's something that is not reconcilable, then you should be thinking of perhaps you are not, if you're not comfortable here, let me advise management to take you to another department where you can flourish. See, a good leader selects his team. A good leader selects his team. And when you have people, you cannot have people that are working against you in the team. For me, the places that I have served, I believe in carrying people along. I believe in working with people, but the day I hear that you have become a voice of opposition, you know, there are some people in an organization. I saw it a lot in church, in departments in church. There's this guy that didn't feel that they should pay dues. What are we paying dues as a department? But they use this for birthdays just to make people feel good within the department in church. Just because he didn't want to, he started carrying rumors that they are not using the money for anything. They are using personal this, you know, just to portray some people, just to cover their lies or to cover their motive. They will come up with certain things. And I called the guy and I told him that, look, dues is something that we pay. And I explained it to him and I showed him the record. I said, did they give you a present last year for your birthday? He said, yes. And I said, so where do you think it's coming from? When we visit people that are sick or gave birth in the department, where do you think the money is coming from? So I talked to him. He still didn't pay for 1 or 2 months. He cooled down for a bit. On the 3rd month, he started. Those type of people that they are trying to make sure that they bring the organization down. It can be both male, it can be both female. So what I now did was advise the pastor that I think that there has to be a shift, and he was shifted to another department. And I don't know if he had a problem, but I know that the department he went to, he had a problem there until they gave him a department to run, and that was the last I had of him. So in leadership, you must have your own team, people that understand your vision, people that are ready to go. And if somebody is there working against that vision, then I think they should be transferred to another department. You can't have you can't dine and sleep with the enemy in your home. I don't think you can do that. But you need to talk to the person. Is there anything that I'm doing? Is there anything about in this department? Because when you do it, you should have records. You should have records that you had a discussion with this person. You write a report, put it in her file. You had this person because of her behavior. I think you should handle it in an official way, and find out what is happening to her. I don't think it's a gender thing. I think there's some people that are just nasty, male and female. So now find out from her what is the issue, and you document it. Talk to her twice. Make sure you give her that envelope, and each time you talk and do all those things, it's documented. Then if you feel that you can work with her, then you should advise management that I think that she will do better in a different department or in a different place. But you must always, for me, I always select my team. I always select my team no matter what. I always select my team because without them, I can't walk. And worry, I think you need to think about it. Because if you have somebody like that, that person will be working against you. Okay? Let me go back to the 3rd point I was saying. I said that every leader, for you to be indispensable, you must be seen as becoming cognizant with the market changes. People will follow you when they see that you are aware of the moves of competition. You know your competition. You know new entrants into the industry. You know the threats. So when things are happening in the industry, you are interpreting it, and everybody, just like they say here, everybody want to follow somebody, or they say it in pidgin English, somebody who is happy, somebody that is aware. Everybody wants to follow somebody that knows, have the know-how, the technical know-how to be able to do this. Because companies live and die by their ability to alter business strategies with changing market conditions. The individual who can do this is what their weight in gold in that organization. The company that can do that is what the individual that can do this is what his weight in gold. You need to understand your industry, because that is why people will follow you in the first place. They will not follow you just about physical charisma. You can talk, you can do all those things. They want to follow you because they know that you understand the market. They look up to you to analyze things, that can help them as a person. Okay? The number 4 one is surround yourself with people better and smarter than you. I always say it wherever I am. Anybody that works for me is smarter. If you're not smarter than me, then you can't work for me. My friends, all of them must be smarter and richer than me. That is my own standard. You might call it extreme, but that is my own standard. A good leader must have the courage to surround themselves with people better than themselves. And I always see this as a problem to certain leaders. When they see young men that are gifted, that are smart, instead of using them, they push them aside, put them in a place. I've seen pastors in churches, when they see smart people, young men gifted, they say this one has a rebellious spirit. They put them somewhere that they will not shine. I can't understand it for the life of me. I can't understand what is the problem. Why are people put in that kind of position? When you can use people for God's sake. Use people that are gifted, that are smarter than you. Don't be intimidated by them, but actually be motivated. They help you. Iron sharpened iron. Iron sharpened iron. This, when someone is gifted in a certain area and you come in, they come into your organization, they are bringing something that will help you become a better person. Okay. All right. The fifth one is acquire a heavy-duty resilience. Every leader makes mistakes, and every leader stumbles and falls at one point in time or the other. But this is it happens to everybody. Indispensable leaders learn from their mishap. When they fail, they regroup and they get going with now renewed speed, conviction, and confidence. They regroup, they learn from mishap, regroup, then get going with, now they go there and say, yes, we failed, but let's now study the reason why we failed. Because if you don't find out the reason why you failed, you will not know the reason. You will not see the reason why you should succeed. Or you will not see how you're going to succeed. If you don't know why you fail, you won't know how you can become successful. It's from that failure you'll be able to retrace your steps to become successful. So indispensable leaders are people that they call die-hard. They are resilient and they make mistake. That mistake where others have become discouraged, that mistake is even spurring them on to do more. And when people around you see that we fail, but you are still forging ahead, they'll say, this is the kind of leader that I want to follow. In spite of all these things that is happening, he's still forging ahead. He's still coming to work every day. He's still moving. No, let me follow this leader. He's going somewhere. Than a leader that will just hang his gloves and say, guys, we've tried, maybe we should try something else. There's no roadblock. Before success comes, there's always a brick wall that comes before you, that looks as if that brick wall is not going to come down. But the more you continue at it, you get to a point that you realize that it will crumble. Resistance. Once you resist something, resilience will bring down the strongest building. I don't care if it's steel. So let me summarize in this way. If you can say it, believe it, then make it happen. If you can say it, believe it, make it happen. Work on improving yourself before you attempt to improve others. Indispensable leaders are the people that have developed themselves. You have to develop themselves. Get a mentor. Read books. Go to seminars. Practice the things that you have learned. Practicing. Nothing gives you an experience more than practicing things on your own. Practice what you have learned. Move on. And you see that you begin to try some of these things. And by the time you begin to try some of these things, you even become encouraged to do more. And always tell people, find a job or find a business that you are passionate about and an industry that you are happy to be in. Don't go into any business just because people need something to do or just because you need a job. Go into a business where you know that that you're going to be happy in. And when you get there, become an integral part of that organization. If you're getting a job, that so much so that you become invaluable, indispensable. And people that are indispensable are the people that are paid top dollar. And you can be, you listening to me today, you can become that indispensable leader. That anywhere you go, people pet you and pamper you. If you say you want to go, everybody will shut down and they will speak to you. Then you know that you are invaluable. You know that you are indispensable. Groom yourself, develop yourself in that area, and I know that you will. I know that you will. You will. I know that that you will benefit from it in the long run. Okay, I've come to the end of my presentation here today, but I need to give you some information. This is Monday, the marketplace with Uchonache. Every Monday, 5 p.m. West African time, I come out here and I do a seminar. This one will be doing seminar on leadership, business, career, personal finance, and relationships. These are the core areas of marketplace apostles. And so I come here every day, every week, Monday, to share a presentation on that, do a webinar in these 5 areas. But I don't take questions except maybe during sometimes during the presentation, like Wari put a question, I will answer it. But if not, on Wednesdays, 4 p.m. West African time is when I come to answer questions. It's our mentoring session. It's called What's on Your Mind. Just put what's on your mind, what's troubling you, what's weighing you down on my handles, in my DM. DM me with those things, and I'll be able to come on Monday, and on Wednesday, 4 p.m. West African time, and I will answer them. Some people say, I need more. I need a coach. Can you coach me? Yeah, I can coach you. It's something we can work towards. It's something we can work and say, okay, how will I be able to coach you one-on-one to that? You can reach out to me and we can make it work. So until Wednesday, 4 p.m. West African time, I hope to see you. Until then, every Monday, we come in those 5 areas that I've mentioned. So I leave you now, but I hope to see you on Wednesday. Just help me share this link, this information about what we do here to people, so that more people can come in here and benefit from this area. Our areas are called business, career, leadership, personal finance, and relationship. And every Monday I bring a topic in any of these 5 areas. Okay. I see Adio for Africa. God bless you too for showing up. Wednesday, I answer questions. If you have any questions, just put it out, my dear. Come to the end today. I just want to wish you guys a good evening and a blessed evening. God bless you guys. Take care. See you on Wednesday, 4 p.m. West African time.